On the surface, the Edmonton market looks balanced, but buyers are still losing money, missing out, or getting stuck with the wrong home. These are 3 mistakes I'm seeing every week and how to make sure that they don't happen to you. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Tristan, a full-time realtor here in Edmonton, and I help buyers make confident, number-backed decisions in this market. Whether you're moving up, relocating, or buying your first home, I'm here to run the numbers before you make any real estate decisions. And right now, even though the market seems balanced, I'm seeing way too many smart buyers fall into traps that they could have avoided with just a little clarity. So let's break down the 3 biggest mistakes I'm helping my clients dodge and how you can too. One of the biggest mistakes I'm seeing right now is buyers underestimating how quickly good homes are still moving. On the surface, the market feels balanced. There's more inventory, and you're not always competing in bidding wars. But that doesn't mean that you have time to sit back and think things over for days or weeks. In August, the average days on market across the greater Edmonton area was 37, with the median just 25. But here's the thing, those numbers don't tell you which homes were priced properly, staged well, or even livable. A dated teardown that sits for 120 days gets counted the same as a fully renovated family home that sells in just 48 hours. And that right there is what trips a lot of buyers up. I had a buyer recently who wanted to see a certain property, but by the time they brought it to my attention, it had already gone pending. Now that deal ended up collapsing, and as soon as it came back to market, I booked us in for a showing the same day. Unfortunately, they had just returned from work travel, so we had agreed to wait a few hours to prepare a clean, fair offer. Not even an hour after we left, the listing agent called. There were already 2 other offers on the table, likely from buyers who had missed out the first time that it went pending. The home hadn't even been back on the market for a full day before we were back into a multiple offer scenario. And that's the thing. You don't need to rush, but you do need to be ready. I always make sure my clients know the price in terms of the comparables, the condition notes, and offer strategy before we ever step through the front door. If the numbers line up and the home feels right, you're in a position to act confidently while everyone else is still just thinking about it. And all of this just happened a few days ago while the market is currently cooling down. A lot of buyers hear balanced market and assume that they're in control, that they can come in well below asking and still walk away with a win. But in reality, most sellers aren't that desperate. And the smart move isn't always negotiating down the price. It's understanding where the real leverage is. In August, Greater Edmonton's absorption rate sat at 63%, which technically still leans seller favored, but it's still the most balanced that we've seen all year. This gives buyers more room to negotiate, but it doesn't mean that every listing is overpriced or that a 15% discount is realistic. Some homes are priced fairly based on the comparables, and if you come in too low, the seller might not even counter. That's not a strategy, that's just a missed opportunity. This is where leverage really comes into play. If the price already makes sense, we can often negotiate on terms that improve your experience without risking the deal. Maybe the home needs a deep clean. We can write in a professional cleaning clause before possession. Maybe you love the TV stand or the garage shelving and want it included. We can ask. Need that shed in the backyard for extra storage? We'll make it part of the conversation. I've even secured things like touch-up painting, early access for measurements, and duct cleaning in the right scenarios. And of course, we're still aiming to get the home at the best possible price. That's always part of a strategy, but leverage doesn't live and die with price. Sometimes the biggest wins come from the little things that make your life easier, reduce your move-in stress, or give you more value beyond the number on the offer. And that's exactly what we're focused on getting right. If there's one theme that's connecting all of these mistakes that we've talked about so far, it's this: the numbers matter. Whether it's understanding how fast good homes are moving, or knowing when a price is actually fair versus just long on the market. Every smart move in this process comes back to running the numbers. And yet, when it comes time to write the offer, the moment that actually puts thousands of dollars on the line, many buyers still rely on gut instinct over data. It's easy to fall into the trap of asking, does this price feel fair? But the better question is, does this price make sense for this home in this neighborhood at this point in the market? That's where most people get tripped up. They might look at a few listings online, talk to a friend who bought last year, or assume that because a home is under budget, it must be a good deal. But unless you've broken down the actual comparables, not just listings, but recent sales as well, then it's all just guesswork. For example, picture this scenario in West Edmonton, where two homes, same layout, similar size, just a block apart, were listed at $489,000 and $510,000 respectively. On paper, the lower price listing looks like a great deal, but it needs around $25,000 in repair. It has a worn out roof, an aging furnace, and some visible cosmetic issues. Whereas the other property had a roof with a lot more life left and a recently updated mechanical system. So that great deal actually comes with a cost. In the end, it wasn't savings at all. It was just a distraction. That's why I always walk my clients through the data before we write anything. We're not just looking at list prices here, we're analyzing sold comparables, the condition of the actual home, and the layout value. We also factor in market trajectory. Is this neighborhood heating up or cooling down? What's the average days on market for homes that are just like this? Not just across Edmonton, but in this actual neighborhood. The numbers are what bring clarity and keep you grounded. Because yes, we are trying to get you the best possible price, but a great deal still needs to get accepted. If we lowball without context, we risk offending the seller and losing the opportunity entirely. On the other hand, when we write an offer backed by strong logic, clear comparables, smart timing, and strategic conditions, we're negotiating from a position of strength and not speculation. And that's how you buy the right home at the right price with zero regrets. So if there is some key takeaways here, it's that smart buying in this market doesn't come from guessing. It comes from understanding the numbers, being prepared, and using leverage where it actually counts. That's how you avoid the common mistakes and make decisions that you'll feel good about long after the deal closes. If that sounds like the kind of approach that you want to take, then reach out to me anytime. Whether you're just starting to look or you're ready to buy soon, I'll help you move forward with a plan that's backed by calm, clear data. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I post regular updates on what's happening in the Edmonton market and how to navigate it with confidence. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.